Come on in, guys. Welcome to Idled Out, where we talk all things Survivor. My name is Luke, and today we're talking about episode 11 of Survivor Winners at War. Well, that was the best episode of the season in my opinion, and one of the all-time great performances by any Survivor ever. We've got a lot to dig into this episode, so I want to talk about my top 5 immediate takeaways from episode 11 of Winners at War. Rather than a full episode recap, I'll be highlighting 5 things from this episode I think we should be talking about. That might be specific characters, moves, or moments, or just general things I noticed about the episode. So, spoiler warning. My 5th takeaway is that the extortion advantage that was used on Tony by Parvati and Natalie may have had unintended consequences that are good for Tony. As we saw in the show, Nat and Parv kinda went for broke on bankrupting Tony by asking for the absolutely largest amount of fire tokens they thought was in the realm of possibility. I mean, 6 fire tokens? That's an absurd amount given the going rate of advantages thus far. Who are they, Tom Nook? Anyway, my point is, for them to see that Tony paid up in the short amount of time he had has to be mighty impressive from their point of view as likely jurors. They asked for a pie-in-the-sky amount, and Tony actually delivered. Tony's fire token scramble may have just shored up 2 jury votes from players that he never even set foot on the same beach with. My 4th takeaway is that Kim's read on the motivations of other players in this game is unparalleled. Kim has seemingly struggled to find her footing so far in the game, but just as old Tony was back this episode, so too was old Kim. Everyone else thinks Tony is on their side, as evidenced by players from both alliances giving Tony fire tokens. But Kim is the only one who sees right through Tony like cheap toilet paper. These winners are going to be a lot more difficult to wrangle than, say, Kat and Alicia. But if anyone poses a threat to Tony's continued antics, it's Kim. I'm guessing that, given the preview, the Kim and Tony showdown is likely coming sooner rather than later, and I'm all about it. My 3rd takeaway is that, well, guys, you got the camp life scene you're always asking for. Is this what you wanted? With all of the Tony talk, I almost forgot that we spent a solid couple of minutes on Sarah's fashion show that she put on, and, it was alright. It served the dual purpose of showing us a silly thing they did to stave off boredom, filtered through the prism of Tony and Sarah's burgeoning rivalry. Perhaps not exactly the camp life scene we've always been looking for, but I'll take it. And the real question is, who wore it best? It was obviously Michelle. My number 2 takeaway is that it kinda sucks to see Nick's role in this season so diminished. I'm a big Nick fan, so to see him reduced in the narrative to evil vampire Donathan, when he's now second in command to Tony and was the only other person up at night looking for idols, is kind of disappointing. Maybe it's the David versus Goliath fan in me, but I'd like to see the champion of that season get more than crumbs off the editing room floor. I have to imagine Nick is a final tribal no-vote getter at this point, and that's why he's being clowned on in the edit. But regardless, I think Nick deserves a little more of his agency to be shown. My top takeaway is that this was easily the best episode for any one player in a very, very long time. Tony played his heart out, working around a twist literally intended to extort him, created his own new alliance, won immunity, blindsided one of the best players left in the game who had an idol in her pocket, and was just insanely entertaining throughout. Even the preview gave us a great Tony moment with the promise of a spy nest. By land or by air, this guy will find a way to be great TV. The question is, can he keep this momentum going for 3 or 4 more episodes? How does this not catch up with him eventually? I'm not sure, but I'm going to enjoy finding out. Got nothing else for you. Please consider bequeathing your fire tokens to the like and subscribe button, and I'll get you more Survivor content just like this. Until next time, don't get idled out.